Has a family member or friend ever prayed for you before?
So we had a chaplain and he prayed for me when I was losing someone close to me in my family.
How did that make you feel?
At the time, really calm and peaceful.
One of my close friends, there was a time where I was in a dark place. A lot of the attention towards me was quite negative, and she literally prayed over me. One afternoon, I just did it, and I felt amazing after.
I think I got healed once. I was complaining about maybe my knee or something, and my sister prayed for me and it went. The pain went.
Someone at work actually prayed for me because I couldn't sleep at night, and she took my hand and said a prayer so that I could sleep at night.
And did you?
Yeah, got better. My sleeping got better, yeah.
Well, welcome back, guys, to another episode of The Way podcast. I'm Zenya, and I'm here with Jesse, I'm here with Kane, and I'm here with Izzy. And we have a very exciting episode for you today. It is Pentecost Sunday, and in collaboration with Thy Kingdom Come, we are going to be interviewing the Archbishop of Canterbury. So exciting. Should we just get into it? Yeah, let's do it.
Well, good morning, everybody. So good to have you
Morning,
here.
Kane.
We have a special guest. We've got Archbishop Justin. Thank you so much for being here today.
Pleasure.
Should we call you Archbishop Justin?
Or just Justin is fine.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we want to start off with the first question. And so the first question is, what is Pentecost?
Pentecost was originally and remains a Jewish feast, day of celebration. And for the Jews, it was when Moses was given the law by God. But for Christians, it's when the Spirit is poured out on the disciples and they are scattered out to bring people to know who Jesus is. So it's a really exciting time because it's both in the Old Testament and the New Testament, it's about the gift of God to show us how to live in a way that pleases God.
And how do we let the Holy Spirit guide us in those moments?
Well,
Or in everyday life?
it's part of that is listening to what people are saying. So very often the Spirit speaks through other Christians, either through one of the gifts of the Spirit, a prophetic word or something like that, or simply a group of people who say, this is what we think you should be doing. And something in you speaks powerfully about that being right. There's a sense, that makes sense to you. But we've got to avoid the chronic disease of this age, which is individualism. It's not I decide and everyone else confirms it. It's an interaction.
Wow.
And sometimes we have to be conscripted rather than volunteering. And that's always been true in Christian history. There was a bishop called Ambrose, who was one of the great bishops of the early medieval period. He literally was forced to become Bishop of Milan, Archbishop of Milan, because he didn't want to be. But the church people said, you're the one.
Wow. Interesting.
It's not always easy, but the Spirit works through us. And even when we mess up, the Spirit still is faithful and works through us.
Well, and a key part of being guided by the Spirit is prayer and all of that stuff.
I was reading Genesis this morning, all about Abraham, which I've been reflecting on for quite a long time. As I looked at it and was reading a commentary on that book of the Bible, because it's always good when you're reading a book of the Bible to have something that helps explain the bits you might not understand. As I was reading it, the person who'd written the commentary was saying basically that there are two key things that we can get wrong. First of all, we know that God is faithful, but we go wrong when we forget that. So we think it's all down to us. And God can't sort things out. So if we make a mistake, it's somehow fatal. And second, however, God works through human beings, and that's a really messy process. And so it's not that we sit back and let God do everything, and it's not that we think it's all down to us. We need to trust the faithfulness of God and to live with courage, obeying what God tells us to do. And that's the way things work. And that means prayer.
It does mean prayer.